Welcome back to Circle Friday, Back Friday, the weekly tradition. I'm sorry, this light is so bright. Pardon me. The weekly tradition where we look back at everything we said this week and quietly wonder who let us talk unsupervised. Honestly, some of was spiritual, some of it was questionable, and a few moments probably violated community guidelines for emotional stability. But here we are, circling back anyway, because apparently that's what responsible adults do. Sitting here on mute because I don't know why. Know, whatever. Let's just start this thing. It is a day already. Before we dive into the ride that was this week, because that's exactly what it was, let me just say, I am genuinely shocked we all made it to Friday. Or at least me. I mean, for real. Because y'all, I'm telling you, okay? I think at one point on Wednesday, half of the chat was holding on by a thread, okay? The other half was already mentally checked out. And I was somewhere in the middle trying to pretend I knew what the hell I was doing. And honestly, I think we did pretty damn well, considering the fact that most of us are running on caffeine, instinct, and pure delusion, you know? And, well, this week felt like a season finale, you know, a reboot, if you will. And, well, a deleted scene too, all in one. Let me tell you. I think, yeah, a B meltdown. That's what it was. Lots of breakthroughs, glow ups, puppy diplomacy, algorithm mood swings, and moments where even I had to look at the screen and say, is this real? Am I being punked? Did the universe accidentally hit shuffle on my life, y'all? Let's talk about the million views. Yes, we did it. We hit it yesterday. We have had 1 million views. Lord knows why. I sure don't. But yes, 1 million. A whole ass number with 6 zeros. Celebration time. Forgive my language, but I am happy today. Okay? We crossed that line like a toddler learning to walk, y'all. Wobbly, loud, and screaming, look at me doing adult things. I'm proud of us, okay? Bertha, the algorithm, that's what I call her, lovingly. Bertha, the algorithm, is proud of us. She is. My ego is deeply nourished. Yeah. And my stress level, well, still here. Yeah. But she's at least wearing a nicer outfit today. Somewhere in the middle of all that, we learned, or we were reminded, right, that this BBTV family is really a support group disguised as a talk show. Y'all show up every day ready to laugh, confess, spiral, recover, and encourage each other like it's a sport. Okay. I'm not saying that we need matching jackets. Okay. But I'm also not saying it. This week also included some breathtakingly honest letters. Okay. We had the bless your heart moments where we collectively held each other's hands, like, sweetie, what are we doing? Happy Friday, plus sister. Good to see you, honey. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. Okay, so this week it also included some breathtakingly honest letters, right? We had the bless your heart moments. Nope, not good. How did we get there though? I don't know. Do you? And then we had the gravel road moments where the universe threw a little dirt in our face and said, keep going, B. No, character development. That's what I'm told that is. Character development. Go ahead. But that best part of this week, okay, the absolute highlight was watching this community. Okay, this community grow. Hello, Map Home. How are you? Pardon me, wetting my whistle. Okay, so the best part of this week, the absolute highlight, right, was watching this community grow. That the chat was on fire. I mean, things are going really good. I am very good, Matt. Thank you for asking. So, new people popped in, the vibes were vibing, right? And then the puppy showed up. Yeah. He talks on cue. He's over here hacking up a lung. It's okay. He's fine. Anyway, the puppies, they showed up right there because nothing says we're healing like watching a dog dance harder than half the boy bands from the 90s. That boy had to go. And here's the thing about this channel, okay? We're not one note. We're not. We're a whole symphony. We've got music history, comedy, life advice, documentary content, late night vibes, solar system meltdowns sometimes, Apparently, we also have a budding pet empire because I got inspired to do a puppy short yesterday and it did really well after my dogs drove me nuts, But, I didn't plan it. YouTube didn't plan it. The universe didn't plan it. But here we are. And honestly, it fits. Now, circle back Friday. It isn't just about reviewing the week, okay? It's about recognizing how far we've come. This little show of ours has become a place where real people show up and they tell their real stories. They laugh about the nonsense life throws at them, okay, and walk away feeling like they're not alone. And that's the whole purpose. I don't want y'all to feel like you're alone. And let me tell you, write me an email. If you don't want me to read it, I won't. If you just want to talk to me, I'm all for it. I'm here and let's go, okay? I am here for you, no matter what. We all are. Big Jack, Mama Lions, all of us. Here, I'll show you this real quick. All right, y'all? Get into that. Get those emails. Write to us. Let us know what's going on. I like the good news too, y'all. Okay, let me just say that. So today, we're going to take a look at the moment where we definitely meant well, even if what came out of our mouths might have not sounded like it. We're going to revisit the letters that had us confused, emotional, giggling, concerned, or all of the above. And we're going to circle back because sometimes the second time around is where the real clarity hits, right? So Before we go any further, okay, let me give a warm up welcome to anyone who's new around here. If you've stumbled into this corner of the internet thinking you were just going to watch a show, surprise! You wandered into a whole village. We laugh here, we cry here, we over explain things here. Sometimes we even roast ourselves for sport. We do. There's no we, that's me. I love it. You're one of us now, okay? No refunds, no exchanges. You're one of us. If you're here and you're staying, you're one of us. So settle in. Grab yourself a drink, emotional support snack, whatever emotional support object that you might need, okay? Because today we're unpacking the week with honesty, humor, and the kind of self-reflection you usually only get after a breakup or a tax season. We're circling back with intention, with attitude, okay, and with a little bit of that million viewed confidence, because yes, we did that. A million views. Hello, Vandy. Very good to have you. Okay, so now that we've got our emotional support snacks and drinks, this is BBTV. This is family, and this is Circle Back Friday. Let's get into this beautiful madness. Now, for the newcomers here, this is a full hour or more show, and I'll tell you the truth. I'm in Texas with allergy issues out the wazoo, okay? And so I have tried to save my voice just a little bit. I'm not fond of an AI voice, but that's what we got today. So here is your bless your heart letter. Oh, pardon me. Wait a minute. I don't want to do that yet. I'm so sorry, y'all. My head is stopped up to no end right now, and I can't think. Anyway. Hello. No, I can't spare a dollar. But if you'd like to join my membership, I'd give it back. Okay. As we circle back through the week, like responsible ish adults, there's always that one moment, that one story that sits there in the corner waving at you like, hey, girl, remember me? You weren't done with me yet. That happens to me daily. I swear it does. Okay, honey, that's wonderful. I'd love to hear from you. Talk to you later, Niecy. Oh, let's see. I heard it's 77 in Texas today. I will tell you right now what it is, Scott. It is, well, it's saying 46, but I don't believe that. Yeah, 46 degrees where I'm at, so it's supposed to be, might get up to 70 today. Kind of looks like it. Love you plus, sister. I'll be waiting. Okay, so now that I've messed all this up and got to get back to it. Sorry, guys. I'm just not myself today. Ugh. All right. So it always shows up at the least convenient time, right? Not during a quiet moment, not during a peaceful morning, not while we're minding our business. No, it waits until we're busy and tired and emotionally dehydrated or attempting to appear like functioning humans. That's when life says, surprise, character development. Oh, no, no. It looks like it may be the 70s today. That's okay, Scott. You're good. Oh, you have a friend that lives in Fort Worth. Well, hello, neighbor. All right. Okay, so I had one of those moments this week, one of those stories that didn't just tap me on the shoulder, it grabbed my whole face, okay, turned it towards the lesson and said, look at this mess you're a part of. No, Now, I didn't want to talk about it, okay, naturally, because when something feels a little too real, our first instinct is to pretend we didn't see it. Like when your car makes a weird sound and you turn the radio up, same vibe, right? All right. But circle back Friday, okay, is where we actually deal with the thing instead of pretending the universe misdialed our number. And if I'm being honest, this particular moment has been sitting in the group chat of my brain all week, waiting to be seen and possibly escorted off the premises. Yeah, that's where I'm at today. So before we get into the letters, before we dive into the part of the show where I try to make sense of other people's lives, let's start with a little honesty about my own. Because, you know, how can I trust you trust me with your stories if I don't give you a little bit of mine, right? So because if I'm going to circle back, I might as well circle back fully, right? Attitude, truth, and maybe a little bit of emotional bubble wrap. Hi. Hi, Jocelyn. Happy to have you. Thank you for being here. I hope you like the show. So, y'all got your drinks, right? Take a deep breath because this is going to be a fun one. I've got a story, and it's one of those stories that reminds you life has a sense of humor. And sometimes the joke is absolutely on us. So let's get into my little story here. How to start this. So you ever have one of those memories that suddenly kicks in the door of your brain like it's law enforcement and it says, "Hey, remember this disaster?" Yeah. That's what happened to me this week. Like every day this week, for real. Okay? I was minding my own business, trying to be an adult. I know it's hard for me, but I do try. Okay? Maybe thinking about a grocery list. Nah, I hate doing the grocery shopping anyway. Maybe thinking about why my socks disappear, like, they're entering witness protection, normal stuff. Then this story from way back yanked me by the hair and said, "Girl, talk to me." So let's take a little trip back. Okay? Just a little bit. Back when I was younger, cuter, no, and significantly more delusional about how life works. Back when I thought grown-ups, okay, had it together. We all had that time. Consequences were negotiable. And common sense, it was just something you picked up at Walmart. Spoiler alert, none of that was true. Now, I'm not going to name names because I believe in protecting the guilty, mostly because the guilty was me. But there was this particular day, okay, way back when, where I made a decision that can only be described as ambitious. Not smart, no, not by any means. Not wise, definitely not. Not even logical, okay? Just ambitious in the way a toddler is ambitious when they try to ride the family dog as like a horse, that kind of ambition. Yeah, see, younger me woke up one morning and decided she was going to change her life. And in the grand tradition of making terrible decisions with absolute confidence, she didn't start small. No, no. She went full Beyonce. Mhm. She wanted a transformation, a moment, a revolution. And she started with her hair. Now, listen, if you've ever tried to reinvent your entire identity using a box of hair dye from the clearance section, you already know exactly where this is going. Yeah, this is all natural, okay? If not, Let me paint the picture just a little bit. Imagine hope, denial, and a vaguely lemon-scented chemical reaction. That was the vibe. So there I was, standing in my own bathroom like a scientist who definitely should not be trusted with chemicals, holding a pair of gloves that were roughly the thickness of sandwich bags and reading instructions written by someone who clearly hated humanity. Yeah. Leave on for 10 minutes, it said. But young me thought, 10 minutes? Please, I can handle 20, maybe 30. I'm built different. No, sweetheart. No, you are not. 25 minutes in, my scalp was sending signals to NASA. I'm telling you, they probably thought it was 3-eye Atlas glowing the way it was burning me. 30 minutes in, I realized the smell, that was not lemon. It was regret. Yeah. And by the time I rinsed that mess out, I had achieved a shade of hair that can only be described as radioactive cornflake. Yeah. I looked like a cautionary tale on the back of a cereal box. Okay. But did I stop there? Of course I did not. Because this was young Bee, the queen of committing to the bit, even when the bit is clearly on fire, right? I decided the hair wasn't the problem. No, the real issue was that I needed a whole new era, a new wardrobe, a new attitude, a whole new personality, basically. So I marched myself right into town wearing sunglasses bigger than my future and the confidence of someone who had clearly not seen a mirror that morning. I walked into the store again, no names, because I'm trying to be classy about this. And I started piecing together an outfit that was supposed to say, I am a woman of mystery. What it actually said was, I got ready in the dark during a small electrical fire. The skirt was too tight. The shirt, way too shiny. And the shoes were unforgiving. And the whole ensemble made me walk like I was smuggling contraband. Okay. And here's the kicker, I still thought I was that girl. So there I was, strutting into the world like a slightly stiff flamingo with radiation blonde hair, feeling myself, and absolutely not paying attention to my surroundings. And because life has impeccable comedic timing, that was the exact moment I tripped over absolutely nothing. Not a curb, not a crack, not even a pebble, just air, betrayed by oxygen. Yeah, I did. Hi, Joy. How are you, honey? Oh, I can't see very well right now. I don't know why. So I did the kind of fall that, replays in slow motion, kind of that Matrix thing. The kind of fall that makes bystanders gasp, then try to pretend they're not laughing. Yeah. The kind of fall where your whole purse empties like a pinata and your dignity rolls right into traffic. I'm telling you. I'm so glad to hear that. Thanks for being here. I appreciate I can't talk today. I just can't do it. I'm having a hard day, but I'm good. I've got a head cold or something. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. So as I laid there halfway between embarrassment and accepting death as a lifestyle choice, I realized something. I had been trying so hard to reinvent myself that I forgot who I was actually. A woman should not make impulsive decisions with hair dye. A woman should not wear shoes that require training. And a woman, most definitely, who absolutely should not try to walk fast on a slick sidewalk with confidence far above her coordination level, okay? I am yeah, yeah. I am not nimble by any means, okay? But also, a woman who bounces back, who laughs at herself, okay, who gets up, brushes off the glitter, which, that stuff stays everywhere, so I'm probably glowing, but pretends the fall was part of the choreography. That's how good I am. And I just kept going because that's who I've always been, even back then, right? And that's why this story showed up this week, because life has a way of circling back, not to embarrass you, but to remind you who you are, okay? And who you were and who you're becoming. That ridiculous fall, the ridiculous hair, right, Joy? Absolutely. But that outfit that should have come with a warning label, it wasn't failure. Okay. That was not failure. It was foreshadowing. I mean, give it the term it deserves. Okay. Foreshadowing that one day I'd be here telling stories, laughing at the chaos, and turning my disasters into entertainment for the masses. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love you guys. You're awesome. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to try to get into this. And I hope everybody understands that the AI is, it's self-preservation. Let me just put it that way. Because, y'all, I could cough one teeny tiny little time and lose my voice. That's how easy it is for me. So now that we've taken our little field trip into my past and, well, I guess now my future too, um, it was all complete with, questionable decisions, questionable fashion, and hair that probably violated at least 3 safety guidelines. You know what? The Bless Your Heart segment, a sacred space, a spiritual practice, a moment where we as a community collectively sigh and say, "Oh, honey, no, no, not today, Satan." Mm-mm. Because every week, the email address, yes, I can do that for you right now. I will put it up. That was the wrong button. Yep. Here we go. There you go. There's your email addresses for all 3 of us. I am BBTV. Okay. All right. Now, okay. So every week without fail, someone out there is living a life so profoundly chaotic, so delightfully misguided, so beautifully unhinged that the only appropriate response is a gentle pat on the shoulder and those 3 magical words. Bless your heart. Listen, this is a judgment-free zone, okay? We don't shame here. We don't scold here. We don't throw stones. We simply observe the situation, tilt our heads slightly like confused puppies, and say, "Sweetie, you tried, and that counts for something." Okay? We simply observe the situation, just observe it. Now, I don't know what was happening in the universe this week outside of my craziness, but the letters that came in had some energy. The kind of energy that makes you sit up and ask yourself, is this real life or is this a deleted scene from a sitcom? And the letter that we're about to have, it is a masterpiece. It truly is. I mean, I would have never picked another one over this one. So buckle up, family. grab your snack again, take a sip, center your spirit. We're about to venture into that tender emotional territory where empathy meets entertainment. So let's get that bless your heart letter. Here it comes, y'all.
Dear B, I need you to bless my heart immediately, because I have made a decision that absolutely did not need to be made, and yet, here we are. So, I've been trying to be more organized this year, trying to get my life together before someone stages an intervention. I bought the planners, I watched the productivity videos, I color-coded things I don't even understand. I was ready, and then, I decided to alphabetize my entire house. Yes, the whole house. I don't know what possessed me. Maybe I inhaled too many Sharpie fumes. Maybe I thought Marie Kondo would personally applaud me. I don't know, but I went room by room, labeling everything like I was preparing for an estate sale hosted by a librarian. It spiraled quickly. By the end of day 2, nothing in my house was where it belonged. My blender ended up next to my Bible because they both start with B. I put the dog's toys under D, but then found myself debating whether fetch ball needs to be under F instead. At one point, I caught myself trying to alphabetize the refrigerator, and that's when I realized things had gone too far. Nothing says, I need help, like telling your family they can't touch the milk until you figure out whether it belongs under M or D for dairy. Boss B, my house is a disaster. My brain is fried, and my husband said if he finds his underwear in the pantry again, he's moving out. Please, bless my heart. Signed, alphabetically anxious.
Oh my Lord. Y'all try me sometimes. I swear. Okay, y'all, sweetheart, bless your ambitious little soul. Because you did not just organize your house, you declared psychological war on it and somehow convinced yourself this was self-care. Alphabetizing your entire home is not a hobby. That is a full-time emotional copying mechanism with a return policy. Okay. Coping mechanism. I'm so sorry. I can't do this today. Okay. I say this with love. Okay. Because I recognize the energy. That is the exact same. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I just need to completely re-engineer my environment before I scream. Level of energy that has powered some of my worst and funniest decisions. Now, let's start with the basics. Okay. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wakes up on a random Tuesday and decides, you know what my house needs? The Dewey Decimal System. Kids don't even know what that is anymore. Y'all, I'm old. Unless something else inside of them is already doing cartwheels. You didn't pick up a label maker because you were bored. You picked it up because life feels like it's walking across your last nerve in tap shoes. And the only thing you can control without causing a felony is where the blender lives. So you gave the blender a letter. And then you gave everything a letter. And then you woke up in an episode of CSI Container Store. The scissors moment alone told me everything I needed to know, honey. You standing there frozen, debating whether they belong under S for scissors, C for cutting, or D for don't touch. Oh my goodness, honey. Hi, back. Just kidding. Hi, Map. Glad you're back. Thanks for being here. So you turned a drawer into a philosophy seminar, right? Same with the blankets. Good and well. A normal person just throws them in a basket and calls it a day. Oh, no, not you. No. You're out here holding a throw blanket like Hamlet holding a skull, okay? Asking B for blanket, W for warmth, C for comfort, R for regretting every choice that led me here. Baby, that's not organizing. That's a nervous breakdown in throw pillow form. I mean, goodness. The refrigerator. Ma'am, when you start alphabetizing your food, that's when Jesus, your ancestors, and 3 angels lean over the rail of heaven like, okay, she needs a nap. Milk doesn't know it's under M. Did you know that? Yogurt doesn't care what letter it is. Yogurt is already planning its betrayal date. Nothing in that fridge respects your effort. Meanwhile, you're standing there wondering if eggs go under E for eggs, P for protein, or T for this is too damn much. That's not meal planning, honey. That's a hostage negotiation with dairy. Seriously. Your poor husband opening the pantry and finding his underwear in there like it's part of 3-for-1 snack bundle. That man is absolutely rethinking his life choices. He went looking for crackers and found boxer briefs. That's not a storage issue. That's my partner is mentally jousting with the alphabet, and I might sleep with one eye open issue. The fact that he hasn't packed a bag yet tells me 2 things. 1, he loves you. 2, he has absolutely accepted that he lives in whatever season of life this is called. It's true. But under all the comedy, okay, there's the real thing we need to talk about, and that's this. You didn't do this because you're ridiculous, okay? You did this because you're overwhelmed. When everything in your life feels like it's happening all at once, and none of it is in your control, your brain will latch on to anything it can touch and say, fine, I run this then. For you, that turned into I run scissors. I run blankets. I run fridge. I run the pantry. I run the dog's toys. I run this underwear situation. You turned your house into a map because inside you feel lost. Alphabetizing your home wasn't about stuff. It was about safety. It was about trying to make sense of a world that doesn't make sense, right? If the cans line up, maybe the thoughts will too. If the towels have a category, maybe the feelings will have a category too. If everything has a place, maybe you will finally feel like you do too. And that part, that part alone, I understand that deeply because a lot of grown adults look perfectly normal on the outside, while on the inside, they are this freaking close to filing their emotions under N for no idea what I'm doing, and H for hanging on by a thread. Here's the good news, though. You're not broken. You're not crazy. And you're not beyond hope. What you are is tired, anxious, and grasping for something that gives you the illusion of control. And honestly, there are worse ways that could have gone. You know that. You didn't blow up your life. You didn't torch your relationships. You just temporarily turned your home into a very confusing escape room. In the grand scheme of coping mechanisms, this one is chaotic but flexible and fixable. Now, practicing speaking. Here's what I want you to do. First, call a ceasefire with the alphabet, please. Please. Take one area, just one, and undo the madness. Pick the pantry or the fridge or that. Go put the poor man's underwear back and put things back where they belong based on function, not letters. Okay. Let the blankets go back to being blankets, not philosophy questions. Let the scissors live with the other things we grab when something needs cutting. And stop, seriously, stop trying to assign moral categories. Okay. Your house needs to feel livable again, not searchable. Now, second, acknowledge what you are actually feeling when you started this. Were you anxious, overstimulated, tired of feeling like everything is a mess? Maybe you were angry because nobody else seems to help keep things together. You tried to solve emotional exhaustion with the label maker, and it didn't work because the problem wasn't the stuff. The problem was the pressure. Say it out loud, even if it's just to yourself. The problem is the pressure. Okay? Say it to yourself. Even if you're in the kitchen while you move the peanut butter back to the normal shelf, I'm overwhelmed and I tried to fix it by controlling things that were never the real issue. And third, listen, I want you to give yourself permission to be average in some areas. You don't have to be perfect. I think that's a big thing that all of us try to do. Everybody, you want to impress. You want people to be impressed with you and the way you do things. And let me tell you, if you're not impressed with yourself, they're not going to be either. And you don't have to turn your life into a color coded encyclopedia to prove you care. You're allowed to have a decent, functional, slightly messy space and still be a good adult. Let me tell you, I have a green screen for a reason, y'all. I live in a house that was my mother's, and well, 2019, we lost my father in law. 2020, I lost my mother. 2021, I lost my mother in law. And yeah, I have a house full of 3 households worth of stuff still because if I give any of it up, it has to go to the family and they don't live here. If I sell any of it, then I have to deal with all that and I just don't want to do it. So yeah, I got storage. I got an attic. I got lots of stuff, right? I'm not messy. I'm just cluttered. But finally, ma'am, I need you to hear this. Okay, you don't earn rest by finishing projects. You don't earn worth by being organized. You don't even earn love by making sure every object has category. The people who love you, they love you even when your pantry is chaos and your towels are in witness protection. Okay, and the God who loves you, he's not sitting there with the clipboard grading your Tupperware alignment. You are allowed to sit down, leave some things unfinished, and still be enough. So, yes, I'm going to laugh with you about the alphabet apocalypse. I am. You unleashed it in your own home. And it's funny to me. And I'm sorry. I'm laughing with you, not at you. Okay. And I might tease you about it a little bit more. I mean, that's just how I roll. But it's never without love. Okay. Look, your house can be fixed. The labels can come off. The fridge can go back to this goes where it fits. The dog will happily move his toys into chaos again. Your husband will recover from his pantry trauma. But you, honey, you deserve a softer way to live than constantly trying to earn your calm through projects. You deserve peace that doesn't depend on everything being in order. Okay? Bless your heart for wanting so badly to make things better. And bless your heart for caring enough to write in. I appreciate you. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I have made a small little trailer so I can have a little break in the middle. And I'm going to do that right after this one so that when we come back from this tiny little break, then we are fresh for the gravel road. You know, because you got to get into a new, I guess, atmosphere for that one. So I want to tell you, I had this on yesterday, but yeah, I decided I needed me a new song, a new theme song. So y'all tell me what you think of this, okay? Here we go. I'll pull it up. Why is that up there? I'm sorry, just a second.
She came from the quiet storm.
Oh, please. Okay, we're going to start it over. Here we go.
She came from the quiet storms, built a fire from the ground, turned a whisper to a warning. Now her voice shakes the town. Every setback was a lesson, every doubt became a key, unlocking something bigger. That's the rise of Boss B. When the lights go low, her vision hits high. She built a whole damn network off a promise and a try. Every sunrise, every moment, she's stacking legacy. This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's the queen of the comeback, the storm in the stream, crafting stories out of heartbeats, making visions out of dreams. Got thunder in the hustle, got a voice that cuts clean. Every mic she touches turns the power unseen. So let further spin the numbers, let the views rise slow or fast. Boss B doesn't measure wins by echoes of the past. This moment is a pivot, this season's history. Bow down to the founder of the BBTV dynasty. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's got fire in the head, it's got truth in the frame, got a heart that won't retire and a gift you can't name. Every loop, every letter, every dream she sets free, it's a love note to the world sign. Boss B. And the world keeps watching as the numbers climb, but she's counting all the moments, not the dollar signs. From the late night grind to the daylight scene, she's building something bigger than the algorithm's dream. Boss B rising, BBTV shining, her story's rewriting, a legacy in real time. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dreams, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. BBTV, where the stories breathe. BBTV, where the dreamers believe. Boss B rising, watch her take her place. This is BBTV, this is her grace.
Join Boss B for Ask a Bee Monday through Friday, 12 noon Central Standard Time and Jukebox Journey every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right. What y'all think of that one? I was so proud of that song. I like making AI music when I can write my own lyrics, It's just so cool. All right. So, the funny thing about doing Bless Your Heart story is that even while we're laughing, and we should laugh, okay, because life gives us plenty of material, there is always, always something. This subtle shift afterwards, like the energy collectively exhales. We go from giggling at the chaos to recognizing the truth simmering underneath it. Because somewhere beneath the alphabetized underwear and the dog toys, living their best organized lives, there's a very human moment where we realize we are all doing the best that we can with the toolkit we have. You know, even when the tools don't match the job, okay? And that's exactly where the gravel road comes in, because this is the part of the show where we stop looking at life with that soft, amused tilt of the head and listen instead. Instead, we lean down into the things that genuinely scrape against the heart a little. Now, the things that don't fit neatly into categories, even if we try to alphabetize them, okay, the places in us where humor meets truth, where control gives way to vulnerability, where we admit that sometimes the road is rough, not because we're doing anything wrong, but because the journey itself is meant to shape us in ways we don't yet understand. Now, the gravel road it's that stretch of life that doesn't bother smoothing itself out for our convenience. It's the part where the universe says, I'm not going to break you, but I am going to shake you a little so you can hear what's loose. Okay. It's not as gentle as Bless Your Heart. No, not at light or sweet or wrapped up in comedic insulation. Okay. This is the space where we look straight at the things we've been trying not to see, or the feelings we keep telling ourselves we'll handle later, or the truths that we set on the shelf hoping they'd magically resolve themselves if we left them alone long enough. It's like that old commercial you see on TV where, dad and mom are riding down the road and there's this knocking noise inside the engine and dad turns up the radio instead of fixing it. Okay. The gravel road is the segment where we tell the truth in a way that still feels safe, where we admit we're tired without apologizing for it. Okay, y'all? Where we say the things out loud so it no longer owns us. And honestly, I love this part of the show for the same reason it makes people a little nervous, because it's where the laughter softens, but the connection deepens. Thank you, Renee. Amen, sis. Amen. Look here, y'all. Jesus loves you all. Amen. Thank you. Very happy to have you here, dear. All right. So, honestly, as we shift gears from light to funny, bless your heart energy into something a little more grounded, a little more reflective, a little more real, I want you to take a breath and let yourself settle, okay? The next letter, it isn't about chaos or comedy or coping gone sideways. It's about the kind of weight people carry quietly, the kind of ache that sits under the surface while they try to smile their way through the day, and it's a mask. And whether this is your letter or someone else's truth, I promise you there is something in it that will ring familiar. Okay, let's just go ahead and get into this one, okay? Here's your gravel road letter.
Dear B, I'm writing today because I've hit one of those seasons
Well, that didn't work, did it?
where everything in my life feels heavier than it looks, and I'm getting tired of.
For real? Why are you messing with me?
pretending it doesn't. I've
Because
always
that,
been the dependable one in my
oh, y'all, I'm just
family.
having a day, I'm telling you.
Dear B, I'm writing today because I've hit one of those seasons where everything in my life feels heavier than it looks, and I'm getting tired of pretending it doesn't. I've always been the dependable one in my family. The person who steps in, smooths things over, holds it all together, and keeps the peace even when I'm breaking on the inside. And most days, I can carry it. I don't complain, I don't make a scene, I don't ask for help, I just push through whatever needs to be done. But lately, it feels like the weight has settled into my bones, like I've been running on fumes for so long that even the smallest things feel like obstacles. I think what hurts the most is how invisible it all feels. My family sees the things I do, but not the toll it takes. They see the meals cooked, the appointments kept, the crises solved, the favors done, the emotional work handled, but they don't see the exhaustion behind it. They don't see the moments when I close the bathroom door just to breathe, or the nights I stay awake wondering how much longer I can keep this up
Joy.
without falling apart. They see me functioning, so they assume I'm fine. And a part of me knows it's my own fault for being so good at pretending, but another part of me wishes someone would notice without being told. I'm not asking for applause or a parade, I just want someone in my life to ask if I'm okay and actually mean it. To offer help before I have to ask. To recognize that the strong one gets tired too. But instead, the more I give, the more I'm expected to give, and I'm scared that one day I'm going to wake up and not recognize myself anymore because I've poured so much of me into everyone else that there's barely anything left. I know life isn't easy for anyone, and I know I'm blessed in many ways, but I don't know how to balance gratitude with the truth that I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to tell the people I love that I need support without feeling like I'm failing some unwritten test of strength. And I don't know how to make room for my own heart when it feels like everyone else's needs always matter more. I'm not asking you to fix it. I just needed to say it somewhere. To write it down and not swallow it back. To admit I'm tired. To admit it hurts. To admit I need something I don't know how to ask for. Signed, carrying more than they see.
Okay. My goodness. Sweetheart, I want you to hear me gently when I say this, because it's something a lot of people never get told. I try to do that here. Just because you carry it well doesn't mean it isn't heavy. And just because you've learned how to function under pressure, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Just okay. Because you've learned how to function under pressure, it doesn't mean the pressure is fair. Okay. You have been living in a world where your strength is treated like it's free, where your emotional labor is so constant that people have stopped noticing it altogether. Pardon me. Where the things you do have blended so seamlessly into the background of everyone else's comfort that they forget it cost you anything at all. And I know you don't do it for the applause. Okay. I know this because I've been there. I know you're not keeping score. And I know you don't wake up looking for gold stars. You do it because you love your people, because you care about the outcome, and because you want things to run smoothly. Someone has to step up, and you've never been the kind of person to let things fall apart. But even the strongest oak bends in a storm, honey. And even the calmest soul has a breaking point. But even, oh gosh, mm, you have been asked to hold, absorb, manage, and regulate more than most people realize. The invisible weight you're describing is so real. And the worst part is how easy it becomes for everyone around you to take it for granted. When you're the person who handles everything, right? People stop recognizing it as something you're handling and start seeing it as something that you just are. They forget it works. They forget it's effort. They forget that you're human, not a system built to keep their lives from falling apart. They forget everything that you don't allow them. And I know that sounds harsh because I'm not telling you that you're the reason, but you kind of are. You've allowed it. That's something we've talked about all this week too, because people treat you the way you teach them to treat you. And if you want to impress somebody and you say, listen, I got this for you. I'll handle it. Let me take care of it. No, don't worry about it. I got you. But all the while, you don't got yourself. And you're losing what little bit there might be left. And they're going to do this simply because you've never made a spectacle of your struggle. You mentioned wishing someone would look at you and ask if you're okay, really okay, without you having to hint or break or explain. That wish tells me everything I need to know. You're not craving attention. You're craving partnership, balance, to be reciprocated, to love the way you're loved, or to be loved the way you love. You know what I'm saying? There's a loneliness in strength that a lot of people never talk about. But when you're the strong one, people assume you're surrounded by support. But in reality, you're often surrounded by expectation instead. And expectation can feel like love's shadow, close enough to resemble it, but not warm enough to replace it. You've been taught, probably for years, that the way to be valuable is to be useful, that the way to be appreciated is to be available, that the way to keep peace is to be the one who bends first. That's how you avoid conflict, right? To handle yourself before anyone else even notices the need. And when you've lived that way long enough, it becomes muscle memory. It's true. You stop even thinking about it. You absorb the tension before it erupts. You fix things before they break. You soften your tone so others don't get upset. And you know what? You swallow your hurt so nobody has to deal with the discomfort of your truth. That's the hardest part. But the problem with swallowing your own hurt is that the pain doesn't disappear. It just travels deeper. It settles in the places where exhaustion becomes identity and where burnout gets disguised as competence. Resentment, it grows quietly in the corners you never let anyone see. Your family isn't malicious either. They're not trying to drain you. They're not waking up each morning plotting how to stretch you thin. What's happening is simpler and sadder. They've gotten used to the idea that you don't break. They've mistaken resilience for I can't even say inexhaustibility. There we go. And when people get used to being cared for without interruption, they stop imagining the cost of that care. If you're the emotional anchor, they assume you don't drift. If you're the fixer, they assume you don't fracture. And you know what? If you're the dependable one, they absolutely assume you'll always show up, no matter how drained you feel. And none of that is your fault. But none of it is sustainable either, right? I want you to imagine just for a minute, okay, what your life would look like if you allowed yourself the same softness you give everyone else. Challenge. Try that. What if you didn't have to be the one who holds it all in or holds it all together? What if rest wasn't a reward, but a right? What if your feelings didn't have to be filtered through your sense of responsibility? What if someone asked you, what you needed and then didn't argue with the answer. Doesn't happen often, does it? Or ever. You deserve that kind of care, not because you're failing. You're not failing, but because you're human. Okay. Strength is not meant to be performed nonstop. It's meant to be balanced with spaces where you can breathe, where you can be tired without apologizing, and where you can say, I can't without guilt. Don't be guilty for saying I can't. Don't say no. It's okay. And here's the truth you're probably not used to saying out loud either. You shouldn't have to reach a breaking point to get support. You shouldn't have to collapse to be noticed. You shouldn't have to word your exhaustion in a way that sounds pretty so people will receive it kindly. If someone only sees your worth when you're falling apart, they never saw you clearly to begin with. The measure of love is not how people react when you shine. It's how they respond when your light dims. I want to say that again. The measure of love is not how people react when you shine. It's how they respond when your light dims. And you deserve people who lean in closer, not people who ask why you aren't glowing like usual. Tell them, go look in the mirror. You wrote that you don't know how to ask for help without feeling like you're failing. That feeling didn't come from nowhere. It came from a lifetime of being praised for your strength while your softness went unnoticed. It came from environments where the message, spoken or unspoken, was that your value is tied to how much you can carry. But needing help is not a flaw. It is not evidence of weakness. On the contrary, just the opposite. It is not an indictment of your character, okay? It is evidence that you are alive and you're real and deserving of the same care you pour into others. There's a moment in every strong person's life where they have to confront the truth that being self-sufficient has turned into being self-sacrificial. It's true. You're standing at that moment right now. You've been pouring from a cup that nobody has refilled. Nobody. Not because they don't love you, but because you've trained them unintentionally, okay? I know you didn't do this on purpose, to assume that you'll refill yourself. That's not how life works, right? That's not what you're feeling right now. Everyone needs someone. Everyone deserves support. Everyone deserves to be seen. And you deserve a life where your needs are not treated like inconveniences and like a natural part of being human. So here's what I want you to take from this today. Your exhaustion is not a failure. It is data. It is your spirit's way of saying, I cannot sustain this pace. And the sooner that you honor that truth, the sooner you can begin rebuilding your life in a way that doesn't devour you. You cannot wait for others to magically develop awareness. They may grow into into it. And they should, but the shift begins with you. You know that's true. It begins with small boundaries, okay? It begins with admitting your limits without a 3-paragraph disclaimer. And it begins with letting silence exist after you say, I need help, instead of rushing to fill it with explanations and apologies. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't have to overhaul your entire identity. You just have to start treating yourself with the same compassion you show to everyone else. If you can love them through their mess, you can learn to love yourself through yours. If you can forgive their missteps, You can stop punishing yourself for being tired. If you can hold on, if you can hold space for their needs, I promise, I promise you can make room for your own. And sweetheart, listen closely now. You deserve support that doesn't have to be earned. You're well past earning that. Okay? So bless your heart. This is not pity, but recognition. Bless the part of you that keeps showing up even when you're drained. Bless your gravel road. Bless the part of you that still loves deeply even when you're tired. And that part of you that finally said the truth out loud. Bless the part of you that is learning slowly but surely that you are allowed to need help, allowed to rest, and definitely allowed to be held. You have carried enough alone. It's time to let go of some of that weight. Just let it go. You got this. You'll be all right. And if you need support, I'm here. You send me another email. Okay. All right. So before I wrap this up today, I want to take a minute, pull back the curtain just a little bit, because I've had a couple of people reach out to me about wanting to support the whole BBTV and Iron Sharpening Iron universe. And I love you for that. I truly do. Seriously. I know my Patty friend has been going through and gifting memberships, which is just the coolest thing ever, you know? Because, well, this community, it has something bigger than any of us imagined. You know, I appreciate every single person who shows up, comments, sends letters, shares the videos, or just keeps us company while they go about their day, you know? But I did get a message recently for someone who said, very sweetly, that they thought buying a membership on one show automatically supported all of us, like it was a package deal that just magically spread the love across the board. And oh, how we wish that would work. And bless them for, being YouTube. But I digress, because that that is honestly the most wholesome misunderstanding I've ever heard. I absolutely get how someone might assume that. You would think that would be a cool thing, especially if we're, collaborating and everything. But YouTube is, in its infinite wisdom and questionable efficiency, does not bundle memberships like a family plan. They only attach to the channel you're currently watching when you click that little join button. Okay. So that goes the same way with super chats. Okay. If you've ever wondered why your membership doesn't show up on my end or somebody else's, whatever, that's why. It isn't you. It isn't us. It isn't anything you did or didn't do. It's how the system works. And I'm not saying this to guilt anyone, okay? I love you for doing all that you do for any of our channels. I said that yesterday. I'll say it every day here on out. I want you to go watch shows on the other channels too. Big Jack has some major, major things coming up for 2026. And you guys, that's my family. Absolutely my family. And I want them to go and have members and have super chats and all that stuff. And if you don't understand it, it's okay. You can ask any of us how it works. It's simply, you have to do it by person, by channel. And if you're gifting memberships, that's really cool too. But it's still the same concept. It's whoever's channel that you're on at the time. Now, when you click on and go into somebody's channel, right? Or to their video to watch it, like you're here sitting with me today. When you go in there, you can look over there right by the join button. There'll be either Boss B or Big Jack Story Time or whichever, it'll be there. I promise. Sometimes there's even two, and it could be both of us. Either way, if you hit the join button and you see my emblem over there, you are joining my membership. If you hit the button and you see Big Jack's symbol over there, his Big Jack Story Time, That's his membership. Okay. Super chats too. Same concept. So I hope that explains it to you. I actually got this question a couple of times now, and I did go and look it up just to be sure. There is no family plan, unfortunately. I do wish there were. But also, while you're here and I'm in promo mode, let me say thank you for the way you've shown up lately. The views, the comments, the shares, the growth, all of it matters in ways you may not even realize. It fuels the channel, of course. It fuels the work. And honestly, it fuels me. That's the better part for me. I love doing this, guys. I love being here with y'all. When I first started this, I didn't want to be on camera. I stayed in the background. I did nothing that normal people do on here. But now I love it and I'm comfortable. And you know what? Yeah, there's been some trolls, but that's okay too because they're content. Plain and simple. That's content for another day. Probably What the Fork Wednesday. All right. So, as we come to the end of today's show, I want to take a moment and really breathe into everything we covered, okay? Because these conversations aren't just stories we tell for entertainment, they're reminders of who we are and that we're navigating in real life. We laughed together. We shook our heads together. We felt the familiar sting of truth together. And we walked down a couple of emotional roads that weren't, I don't know, always pretty, but were absolutely necessary. And so as you step back into the rest of your afternoon and your evening, your chores, your chaos, your quiet, I hope you have some. I want you to carry with you the simplest reminder: you matter. Your feelings matter. Your story matters. And the way that you show up here, whatever it is, chatting, listening, thinking, or just letting the show run in the background while you fold laundry, that matters a great deal to all of us. If nobody told you today, I'm proud of the way you're holding your life together. And even on the days when it feels like it's holding you by the thread, I'm proud of the way you keep trying, even when the road is rough. And I'm proud to share this space with you. So very proud. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. And thank you for showing up exactly as you are. Take care of yourselves, my friends. Take care of each other. And as always, I'll see you next time. Don't forget, this is Friday, so I'll be on tomorrow night with Jukebox Journey. And we have Kings this week. It's all about the men. I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
How you like that?